A lot of Christians, they back away from confrontation because they've been taught that we're not supposed to be confrontational. We're supposed to just be kind, be polite. And no, while we're playing our games of being polite and trying to be nice, the enemy is going for our jugular vein right now as we're trying to play the game, and they're coming for our jugular, and they're taking us out because they're not playing our game. We have got to quit playing the nice game and begin to play the game of the enemy and get bold, get strong, and stand up. We've got to stand up. We can't sit back any longer. And you can have a strong voice and you can stand up for your rights while you're still respecting the people as human beings, as people that God created, and that that they're being blinded by the enemy. There is a way to stand up, take a stand, and still love on people. In fact, you're really loving on them by not allowing them to run over you, because they're coming to take your rights away. Anyway, I just want to encourage you, don't back up. Begin to have a voice. Do your homework. Begin to find out about what is going on. There are some awesome black voices that are rising up right now, and they are speaking such truth, and we need to listen to that because they're saying that this is not a black and white issue. This is not the blacks. Yeah, I'm sure you could find instances where they have been treated wrongly. But you know what? At the same time, I can find places where white people have been treated wrongly. I can find places where conservatives are treated like dirt. Christians are not treated right. I can see people groups like Native Americans. They are not treated very nice in a lot of areas. The Chinese people the Oriental people have not been treated very nice. You can find a people group in every aspect that has been treated horrible and that are still dealing with things today. That the Irish, the Brits came in and they were annihilating them, and they were sending them off as slaves to Barbados and all these different islands. They brought them over to the U.S. and they were slaves. They were slaves just like the black people. This is not a race issue. It's a heart issue. It's a heart issue. It's that place in a man's heart that wants to dominate over other people and to push people down. Anyway, this is not a black and white issue that we're dealing with. This is a fight for our nation. And we, as a church especially, has to get a voice, begin to speak out, not cower, not feel like that we're not going to be, have or display the love of God if we're standing up talking about it or saying something about it. And I've had, some say, well, you're speaking negative. You're putting out all this information about negative stuff. Yeah, I am. It is negative. It's because it's what the enemy is doing. We can't just sit and talk about nice things all the time while our country is going down the drains. This is not a nice thing. But I want to tell you, God has called us and commissioned us to rise up, say something, and a lot of times the only way to know really what's going on is to hit head on all the bad stuff that's going on. And we've got to educate people to understand that all of this stuff that's going on, we've got to wake up. We've got to wake up. Things have got to turn around. I can't express that well enough, that we've just got to wake up. We've got to quit allowing the liberals to use our morals against us, to guilt us and to shame us into feeling bad because we're white, or taking a knee, or feeling like we're not being Christ-like if we're not standing up for the black rights or whatever. That's a lie. It's just a total lie. And we can't allow the enemy to use what God has placed in our heart against us into shame and guilt. The way to stand up for the black people or any other people group is to stand up against this Black Lives Matter and what they're doing to the black people. And they're trying to bring division. They're trying to take away the segregation. Put us into segregation. Martin Luther King, he fought for the blacks to not be segregated because they were being shoved off to the side somewhere. They couldn't go drink out of the same fountain. They couldn't use the same bathrooms. They couldn't go into a restaurant. They couldn't go to schools. They had to go to certain, other schools, and they couldn't get on buses. They were segregated. And there were a lot of white people that fought for the rights of black people to be able to walk into a restaurant like anybody else because they're God's people. And they should be able to go and do things freely, wherever they want, however they want to do it, just like anybody else, just like a Native American, just like Orientals, just like, the Irish, just like anybody else. They should be able to go and live their life peacefully. And you know what? Their rights have been established. And the whites, yeah, they were horrible in the past. But you know what? That's not where we are today. I have a black friend from Kenya that was fearing coming over here to the U.S. Because she had heard how the white people were so racist and everything. And she was kind of concerned. But she came over here. She even rode the bus through these different states. And she said the white people were so nice to her. But interestingly, she said the only people that were rude to her at times, not all of them, but at times, were black people. They were rude. It's because they've got, because people keep this racism thing stirred up. We are not a racist nation any longer. We've had a black president, okay? Hey, come on. If we were racist, that never would have happened. We have black billionaires. We have black congressmen. We have black judges. We have black doctors. We've got... blacks are in every situation. They have every opportunity that anybody else does. And so this is not a race issue. This is a fight for our nation. This is a fight between good and evil. And the enemy is coming to take our rights away, so we will not be able to have a voice. We'll be China. We'll be China, where the church has got to go underground. We cannot let that happen, and we've got to rise up and have a voice. Oh, I can't express it enough, but we've got to rise up and have a voice. This is what God has commissioned us to do. If our forefathers, when we had to fight the Revolutionary War, had taken the stance the church is taking today, we would not have ever become a nation. There was a point where they had to stand up against the tyranny, against the lies, against the enslavement that they were trying to put back on us, the taxes and everything that they were trying to put upon us. We had to take a stand and say something. Say, no, this is not our God-given right for you to rule it over me. And this is exactly where we're at today. The church has got to rise up and say, you know what? This is not what God had for this nation. This is not what God has for Christians in this nation. He said that we were free and that this whole nation was built under God, and this nation is built as a beacon and a light to this entire world, and all of that is being snuffed out, and we've got to rise up. Yeah, we need to pray. We do need to pray. And and that's another thing is prayer. We've got to pray. But what's happening is so many Christians, they'll say, oh, we need revival. Oh, we need to be praying, which it's true. But it's almost like by saying that, you're saying we're crying out to God to come do something in our nation. And I believe God is saying, well, didn't I give you that commission to go and take care of it? You're wanting me to do what I told you to go do? You just want me to come and just like, boom, poof, my glory and fix everything? No. He wants us to rise up, step up, and take hold of the reins, the commission that he gave us to go and reconcile the world to him. No revival is going to fix it. No prayer is going to fix it without our movement, without our moving. We look for revival to come and change our nation. Oh, our nation needs revival so bad. We're looking for an event to come and fix the whole stuff that we have allowed to take place. God's not going to come in and fix it. He's going to say, what are you going to do, people? Are you going to rise up, and are you going to go and bring my light into this place? Because, we've been looking for a revival, and what God has been showing me is that we are the revival. We have the revival within us. The glory, God's glory. We need God's glory. Has God not put his glory within the church? Do you not have the glory of God? We have the river of God flowing out of us. We have the very presence of the Godhead within us. We have God Almighty in us. We are the revival. We are the movement that needs to be released upon this earth. And God is saying, I put it in you. Go release it. Go take authority over the enemy and what he is doing. Yes, we need to be praying. I am not belittling prayer and the call for revival. I really am not. But what I'm saying is the church has used that as a cushion to not do anything, to just sit back and wait for God to do it. No, that's why we're in the mess that we're in, is because the church has had that mindset ever since the 60s, the 50s, and we can't do that anymore. We can't do that anymore. We've got to rise up with a voice, and because we're losing our nation, and we have got to take hold of our commission that we have been given by God and go and take authority over the things that the enemy is doing and wreaking havoc over. And I just want to encourage you. I don't know, I'll probably get a lot of people not liking what I'm saying, but people are not liking what I'm saying anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, I just want to see everyone wake up. Anyway, I didn't intend for this video to be quite this long. I probably should have somehow broke it up or something, but anyway, it is what it is. So anyway, well, thank you very much. Talk to you later.